Thank you, everyone, for attending our Culture of Care, and especially for attending this session, Leading with Care, Developing Leader Competencies for Sustainable Employee Well-Being. And with us, our presenters we have here with us today, Dr. Fatima-Zahra Zouali, an adjunct professor coming to us all the way from Mohammed University in Morocco, and our very own Bill Davis, an associate professor coming from the greater Chicago area and program chair here at the University of Arizona Global Campus, and also Meriem Zouali, a method engineer coming in from France. So we are truly experiencing a global moment here. They're here to share with us how leaders can build a culture of care in the workplace through soft skills such as empathy, emotional intelligence, and inclusive communication. Participants will learn practical strategies to prevent burnout, strengthen team well-being, and apply care-driven leadership competencies that support healthier, more resilient, and high-performing global teams. So we're excited for this opportunity. We're excited that you all were able to be here and share with us today. I'll be monitoring the chat as your facilitator, and I'll be watching for and collecting questions when we get to the end. And so with that, I'm going to pass the microphone over to Meriem because she's in charge of the slides.
All right, Meriem, maybe you want to put that slide in the presentation mode?
Yes, it was in presentation mode earlier. So if we could go back to that. Meriem, can you hear me? If you can hear me, go ahead and come off mute and let me know that. Fatima, can you hear me?
Fatima's on mute too.
Can you hear me right now?
I can hear you right now. Okay, we just need to get your sister in France so we can hear her.
Maybe she's having a problem with the audio. She cannot hear us. She says, "I cannot hear you."
Oh,
okay. Yeah, all she needs to do on her.
Okay, can I proceed with the presentation myself? Maybe I just ask her to switch slides, but
if she can hear you to switch slides, that might be the challenge.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have the slides ready, Fatima?
She's sharing. Yes, I'll try. I'm sorry for this technical issue.
No, but I think it's going to be worth everyone's while. I'm excited for this opportunity.
So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone around the world. It's truly a pleasure to be here with you today. We do apologize for the technical issues. I would like first to begin by sending my sincere appreciation to the organizing committees for their dedication, vision, and hard work in bringing us together around such a meaningful and timely topic, which is care. So today we are not just here to discuss a concept, we are here to reflect on a practice, something that shapes our daily interactions, our leadership styles, and the environment we create for others. So let me invite you to reflect on a few questions. You can share them in the chat as answers if you'd like. So have you ever felt truly cared for at work? And have you ever experienced a moment when you felt genuinely supported, seen, or valued in your professional environments? And have you ever paused to think about how often we as colleagues, managers, or even leaders create those same moments for others? So today, in our fast-paced and performance-driven workplaces, care can be sometimes feel like a secondary concern, yet more and more, we are realizing that it's not a luxury, it's a foundation. It's a culture that influences motivation, engagement, well-being, and ultimately organizational success. So this brings us to our topic for today, which is leading with care, developing leader competencies for sustainable employee well-being. So it's presented and elaborated by myself, Fatima-Zahra Zouali, an adjunct professor at Mohammed I University, Oujda, Morocco. Meriem Zouali was an engineer, method engineer in SPI, France, and Bill Davis, our leader, our model leader. So this is the agenda. Meriem, would you please, next slides, if you hear us? Yes, agenda, please, next slide, thank you. Move on. So in today, demanding and rapidly changing work environments, organizations are bringing and beginning to realize that performance is not only connected to how people feel at work, but it's also a mixture of working conditions and care. So we can get the following equation: performance equals working condition and care. So what is care and why a culture of care matters? So here, maintaining a positive, let's say, company culture should be a top priority. So when organizations genuinely invest in their employees' well-being, the benefits are very significant. So the healthier workforce is naturally more productive and takes fewer sick days compared to, let's say, workforce where care is not available at the workplace. We move on quickly to the following slide with what does leading with care mean. So leading with care, yeah, next slide, please. Leading with care is not just about offering benefits. It is about creating an environment where employees feel valued, supported, and understood. It involves listening actively, responding to needs, and embedding well-being into everyday organizational practices. So it is leadership with empathy, responsibility, and long-term vision that are some of the core soft skills required for every leader nowadays. I move directly to the study that we conducted, okay, on care at workplace. And this is here the theoretical background for our study. So it's care, and it defines four interlinked leadership competencies that are compassion, the attune, the capacity to read people, context, and system, to restore, which is the capability to sustain emotional availability, judgment, and energy over time. With restoration, it's not optional, of course. Nowadays, an indulgence, and it is a condition for sound decision making. The last dimension is enact, which is the inability to translate care into action. And this includes setting boundaries, having difficult conversations with employees, and making decisions and following through. So care is not passive, it is enacted through behavior. We provide in here some key strategies for care. So the first one is impactful benefits, healthy work environments, practical wellness resources, and health conditions, and education. We're going to go over each one. Next slide, please, Mariam. Again, move on. I'm on impactful benefits, please. Yeah, this is the background or theoretical background. Next slide, yes. Yeah, so these are the strategies. I'm going to explain each independently. So the first one here, benefits or impactful benefits. The benefits are one of the most visible ways organizations show care. So for employees nowadays, they expect more than just a salary. They expect support for their well-being. They need like providing comprehensive health insurance, including mental health coverage, which is really essential. Maybe they need flexible paid time off that allows employees to rest and recharge. They need also flexible schedules. For the second one, which is healthy work environments, of course, the needs of employees are not only the same, but they need to spend hours at work. So the environment plays an important and crucial role in their well-being. So beyond safety, organizations should create spaces that supports both physical and mental health. The following one, which is the practical, let's say, wellness resources. So I suggest that there should be telehealth services, which consists another powerful tool. This, of course, allowing employees to consult doctors whenever they need, which can help them check therapists and doctors without disrupting their schedules. This can be helpful for busy employers as well. Of course, on-site health assessment is very important as well. Meriem, would you go ahead with the slides? We need like go. This was already mentioned, so 3 slides ahead. Yeah, move on, please. Yes. So organizations can also offer on-site health assessments, as I said earlier. This helps detect potential health risks and earlier and provide employees with professional advice for early interventions, which can prevent serious health issues. Next slide, please. Yeah, the earlier one, okay, the one before about education. So education is one of the most powerful tools for well-being. So when employees have access to reliable information, they are better equipped to take care of themselves and others. We move directly to talk about the research methodology of this project. So we opted for a sampling, which is probability sampling, the simple random one. Data collection. So data for our study was collected online via an online survey and a questionnaire that was shared via social networks and emails. We so far collected 21 responses, and the study is still ongoing. So if you'd like to take part of this study, I share the link to the online form so we can receive your responses as well. And we hope we can share the results of the study in the future. The analysis was adapted by the SPSS and the Excel for graph making. And the qualitative data was analyzed using QDA software and opting for a thematic analysis. So here are the findings of our study. Next slide, please. Yes, next slide. So concerning what culture of care is, participants conceptualize the culture of care as multi-dimensional construct that integrates emotional well-being, respect, and human-centered values. It's characterized by genuine support, recognition, and flexibility, with also requiring authentic actions rather than symbolic gestures. For the findings, yeah, next slide, related to experience. So the majority of the participants are mid-level workers. Let's say 3 out of the participants are junior and 6 are senior management. Next slide, please. They belong to national and international companies and organizations, with the biggest share for national organizations. So yeah, next slide, Meriem, please. Referring to the findings about the culture of care at work, so when asked, let's say, about these statements, I feel that my well-being matters to the organization, the responded or the findings show that while some participants feel their well-being is valued, this perception is not consistent across the organization. So a significant number of neutral and negative responses suggested uncertainty and dissatisfaction, which indicates a need for more visible and a structured and sustained effort to promote culture of care. Concerning the second graph, which is related to my emotional needs are taken seriously at work, the chart reveals a concerning trend. Nearly half of respondents remain neutral, indicating uncertainty again in how emotional needs are addressed. So more importantly, negative perceptions slightly outweigh the positive ones, suggesting that emotional support is not sufficiently embedded in workplace practices, especially in developing countries. Next slide, please. So concerning these statements, I feel safe to express concerns or difficulties without fear of negative consequences. The graph shows that perceptions of well-being are mixed. While some employees feel that their well-being matters, a significant number remains neutral or express dissatisfaction. So again, this suggests that well-being efforts may exist, but are not consistently experienced across the organizations. concerning the following graph. It presents a positive picture with the majority of respondents respected as individuals, not just as individuals, not just as workers. So, however, the presence of neutral and negative responses along with relatively long, strong agreements suggests that this respect is not consistently or deeply experienced by all the employers or employees. Sorry. Yeah, Meriem, please, next slide. So concerning my workload allows me to maintain my physical and mental well-being. The graph shows participants toward workload and mental well-being, and the data reveals that 53% of participants feel their workload is manageable enough to maintain their physical and mental health, while this represents a majority to most critical finding here, which is 34% combined disagreement. So this suggests that for more than 1 out of every 3 workers surveyed, the volume of work is actively perceived as a barrier to personal well-being. So concerning the following graph, which is opposite, so the most notable finding here is the high level of ambiguity regarding leadership. Over half of the participants provided a neutral response, suggesting that management's commitment to well-being is either inconsistent or invisible to the average worker. Meriem, would you mind moving to the following slide, please? Yes, with the colleague supports. Yes, next slide. Meriem, can you hear me? No, before this one. Again. Yeah, thank you. So here the findings are related to the culture of care among colleagues. The graph indicates or highlights a strong culture of peer-to-peer solidarity. So it's about 58% of the participants report that colleagues provide support during difficult times, which suggests a resilient and empathetic social fabric among the workers. Just saving time, I'm going to move directly to the following slide. Yes, Meriem, would you move on? So when asked if they feel their personal circumstances are taken into consideration while taking decisions, our participants they responded differently. The findings show a fragmented experience among participants regarding personal advocacy, while 38 agree that their circumstances like health or family are taken into account. There is a very high level of skepticism or negative experience with 29% of disagreeing. Yes, Meriem, would you mind moving, please, to the next slide? So these are the forms of care in the organization as perceived by our participants. So they identified several ways in which they feel cared for by their organization. The first one is the supportive leadership, which plays a key role, especially when managers check in regularly, listen actively, and help solve problems. Recognition is another important factor, celebrating achievements, giving feedback, and acknowledging efforts which contribute to a sense of value. Flexibility also emerge as a strong indicator of care, particularly in terms of work-life balance and autonomy over time. So in addition, participants highlighted the importance of considering personal circumstances as well as the role of colleagues in providing support. We can visualize these findings in the following table. Yes, Meriem, would you mind showing the, yes, this one. So with the categories that are relational, structural, developmental, or personal. Yes, next slide, Meriem, sorry. So here, when asked about the gaps or the absence of care in their organizations, and after looking at what constitutes care, here we can address the reality that where that care falls short. So these gaps in care represent the most significant pain points identified by our participants. We can refer to the humanization gap. So here it's at the top of the list. And it's a pervasive feeling that the environment is not as human as it could be. In addition to many participants feeling that they are cared for as producers, not prioritized as people. We have another gap, which is functional. So here we see that care is often limited to technical support, while participants might get the tools they need to do the job. They are getting the emotional or personal support they need to sustain themselves, which organizations still fall short in this. So these are some strategies to maintain a culture of care. So our participants' responses to this question revealed some recurring themes, which can be categorized into three main areas. The first one is the well-being and the workload management, recognition and reward, and communication and organizational cultures. Here we, yes, would you move on, please, to the next slide? So we conclude our presentation leading with care, saying that leading with care requires commitment, but the benefits are long-lasting. So by investing in employee well-being through benefits, environments, resources, and education, organizations create healthier and more engaged teams. So most importantly, involving employees in these efforts strengthen trust and relationships, as the culture of care is not just good for employees, it is essential for a sustainable success. Next slide and the last one. We'd like to share this quote with you. It's by Liz Ryan, a CEO and a founder of Human Workplace, in which she says an employee's job is to give his or her best work every day, but a manager's job is to give the employee a good reason to come back to work tomorrow. That was our presentation, and thank you. And we do apologize again for the technical issues. If you have any questions, please share them in the chat space, and thank you. I hand over to you, Jackie.
Thank you very much, Fatima. Well said. Bill, thank you for helping facilitate this. And for your sister, Meriem, in France, we appreciate you being here. If y'all have any questions in the chat about this, we're going to, Fatima, if you can, go ahead and post your survey link again.
Yes,
We would encourage everyone
I'll
to
try
participate.
I'll try to share it, and I'd like if our participants can
And yeah, and Fatima,
participate with us. Okay, we check.
yeah,
Uh,
Fatima, go ahead and post that, and then also send it
yes.
to me in my email, and I'll reach a wider audience for you so that they can take the survey. And just a final comment, I've known Fatima now since she teamed up with us in one of our TLC presentations. She did a super job. She's written a beautiful article, a chapter with Meriem and everyone, all of her team in the IGI publication, which was very beneficial to everyone. And she does the research. There's no question about it. Mohammed, the first university in Morocco, I have delivered a couple of keynotes to, and the thing that I really enjoy and appreciate and value is how they're looking at engineering and students that are quantitative, professors that are quantitative, and she's getting them all working together at a pace to make things even better. And I think this is a testimony of that commitment. Commitment recognizes commitment. She's looking for positive change, and we sure appreciate that. So thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, Bill. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you greatly for traveling around the world to be here with us. I didn't see any more questions in the chat. Very thorough, very informative, and hopefully we'll get that link out, Bill, and others will want to participate in that. We thank you all for your time. We would invite you to vote for which session.
Sorry, Jackie, to interrupt. There is a link to an online collaborative word cloud, if we'd like to share it with our participants. So we would like to tell us what culture of care is for them. So what's care for them? So if we get some answers, we can share them online.
Sure. If you could go ahead and post that, and everyone can participate in that just before we close out here. Greatly appreciated.
Yes,
Thank
thank you.
you.
I'm going to run. Thank you very much. Good seeing everyone.
You too, Bill.